Well, hello and welcome everybody. My name is Heather, and I just want to say thank you to Megan for having me here and giving me this opportunity to come out and actually speak on this. So today I'll just be going through some of the common pitching mistakes and corrections that I have noticed as a softball coach and as a someone who has specialized in softball pitching. So just a little bit about me. So like I said, my name is Heather. I am from Ontario, more specifically Toronto. And I've been playing softball basically my whole life. I started playing rep when I was 16, so I was kind of late to the game. But before that, what we realized is being able to have like a really strong pitching coach and really developing those leadership skills was a really important asset before I actually began my career and really gaining important experience in pitching. So in my senior year of high school, I ended up getting a softball scholarship to a Division II school in Central Michigan. It was called Northwood University, and it was in the GLIAC division. From there, I did transfer back home to Wilfrid Laurier University, where I got my Bachelor's of Science in Physics. And then my freshman year there, we got a national title. So that was in 2019. And then in 2022 and 2023, I was the team captain. And that was a really cool experience, just bringing some awareness to the sport. I feel like it was kind of overlooked in Southern Ontario, especially at the university level. So that was a really cool experience. And basically, since I started my university career, I've been doing pitching lessons either with a team where I'm working with the same group of girls over and over again, or I have a lot of the girls that end up actually leaving the league and going elsewhere, and they'll still give me a call. So I'll go out and do private pitching lessons. I have worked with girls anywhere between the ages of, it says 10 here, but honestly, probably 8 to 17. Um, the last probably 5 years, we've really focused on ages like 12 to 17. So that's kind of my sweet spot where I feel like the girls kind of comprehend a little bit better just with what I'm saying and just are a little bit more aware of what they're actually doing as an athlete. So just to go over a few things, in the beginning, I'm just going to talk about why good mechanics actually matter to these young athletes. Four important pillars that I really focus on with all my girls. So confidence, mound presence, weak leg drive, leaning, and weak front side. And last and not least is to how to properly correct. So ways that I have found to really get through the girls and how to make them understand some difficult topics that you're actually trying to teach them. So why good mechanics matter? This is obviously very basic, and a lot of coaches already know this, but good mechanics and having something solid and consistent can really prevent bad habits and long-term issues. So looking at reducing the risk of injury, when I was 14, I ended up actually tearing my shoulder, and I had to get shoulder surgery for it. But it was from throwing overhand. It wasn't from throwing underhand. So being able to have those solid mechanics as a pitcher, I know especially in softball, a lot of these pitchers will be going for multiple games, again and again. And then as much as we don't like it, a lot of these girls do have shoulder injuries and they do play through it. So that's something that if we can prevent it from actually happening, then we won't have to worry about it by the time they actually get to that age. Maximizing pitch velocity, I think that's a given. Improve accuracy and control. So one thing that I do tell the girls over and over again is if we start practicing at 100%, that is at the level that we're going to play at. So 100% will always be 100%. If we start practicing at a 75, sometimes it can drop down to 72, we can raise up to 78. And that little bit of a difference is going to change the leg drive, it's going to change the body position, it's going to change the arm movement, it's going to change the glove control. 100% will always be 100%, and that's what we're practicing at. That's going to give the most accuracy, the most control, and the least amount of variation between pitch and pitch. As the girls get older, we're obviously going to be thinking about pitch movement. It's going to be so crucial to have a solid foundation to be able to make those minor adjustments to make the pitch break that you want it, to make the pitch break the way that you want it to. So if we're looking at a rise ball, we're going to obviously transfer the weight a little bit back, get that forward incline to be able to propel the ball from underneath to get it the backspin to make it go up. So that's going to be things where if you don't have a solid foundation, those girls will not be able to make those adjustments to get a better pitch. And we're also talking about building confidence and mental toughness. So that's just going to bring me right into number one, where a lot of the girls that I have worked with, I think we forget that sometimes girls, they're not used to seeing softball pitchers the way that they're used to seeing maybe baseball hitters, where the girls get up, actually at home plate, they have the routine, they make sure that they feel solid, they make sure that they feel ready to actually take that approach at the plate. Whereas for softball pitchers, getting that routine, getting that confidence, being able to command a game and go in with confidence is going to be such an asset and very, very valuable, not only to your pitcher for her development, but also for the team. So why I think it's important to coach this is because pitchers are seen as the leaders on the diamond, and this can be a lot of pressure. It's also your job as a coach just to create an environment for those quick wins to actually give them the confidence that what they are doing is correct. Um, so one thing that I will be talking about a lot over the next couple of slides is short cues. So easy to remember, one-liners, you give your girls a whole spiel as to what something means, and then that can be bubbled down into one or two words where the second you say it, they're going to know exactly what you mean. So what I like to do in terms of confidence and mound presence is just I like to use step on it. So as the girls kind of get ready, they get in their pitch, they get in their set position, they take their breath, which I have noticed that a lot of girls do forget to breathe and kind of calm themselves down before they approach the pitch, is step on it. So we're looking at each pitch, every pitch, you obviously want to be right after you want to attack the batter every single time. But I like to use the analogy of like getting in a car. So immediately what you want to do is go from 0 to 100 kilometers as fast as you can. You want to step on that gas. Step on it 100% right out the gate. And what that's going to do is it's going to teach them that intensity and that switch that needs to be turned on immediately right when they're ready to step on it. Lastly is the mental strength and the preparedness. So this just directly improves the individual stamina and also the team morale. Um, having a pitcher, having a leader on the mound is something so valuable, and I think it can be taught. And I think a lot of coaches neglect to coach this and just expect the girls to show up with leadership just because they are put in a pitching position. So do what you can to make your team well-rounded and build leaders and teach them that the confidence will win the games, even if it's not there. Fake it till you make it. So the second one is weak leg drive. This is something that I see time and time again with girls. So what it's going to look like is very little forward momentum. The pitch will remain very upright instead of actually driving off the mound with a forward lean. One thing that I am constantly talking about is launch position. So I like to talk about a sprinter taking off analogy. So if you see anyone running a short distance sprint, a 100, 200 meter, right before they take off, they're getting low, they're getting their feet in a nice solid position. They're giving themselves that that push off block, that extra strength to actually drive into that first step. So looking at that is the launch position is right when they rock back, right when they step on that pedal to really take off and start the pitch is you're looking for a knee over toe. And what that's going to do, get them in the launch position. And my other favorite thing that I do like to do is I have like the squishy red ball that I put underneath the push off foot. So for right-handed pitchers, it's going to be under the right heel. And what that's going to do is that's going to elevate their heel, get them on the ball of their foot immediately. And this is especially important if you're practicing either on turf or in a gym, is it's going to mimic a mound. It's going to mimic some dirt. That way they're able to actually get that feeling of pushing off the mound, and they're gonna start to feel a drive instead of a step, um, which is really important, especially trying to get the legs involved and trying to make trying to get the strength there for a lot of these girls. I think the causes for weak leg drive, you're talking about the lack of strength and just the misunderstanding of drive mechanics. So some of the corrections, my absolute favorite one that I do like to do with all my girls. This is just a warm-up drill, but I like to do walkthroughs. Really, really common drill. Basically just gets their legs nice and warmed up. It's able to get the forward movement that we're really looking for. For younger girls, even just starting out, I like to do no pause. And then for my older girls, what I do like to do is right here in that launch position, probably a little bit after this. But see how she has that forward bend right there? A little bit more exaggerated, and this would be a launch position right there. I think if I go like half a second forward. But if you get the girls to pause right there and load in that launch position, that way they're able to feel, oh cool, I can go back. That way they're actually able to feel the power that's generated from it. And they're able to push off. And that's a really easy adjustment and a drill that they already know. Next is just lunges. We're getting the legs nice and engaged. We're feeling this launch position right here, knee over toe, and then we're striding right out. Some big cues I like to use is chest up and open. And once again, we're getting these legs stronger because a lot of girls, they have trouble being able to, any young athlete, they have trouble engaging their muscles properly and being able to have that explosiveness. So having a lunge drill where they're forced to get down, activate those muscles, and then they're able to push off is going to be a very, very valuable drill. This next one is the resistance band belt. This one completely changed my pitching. You can do a lot of leg drive pitching or a lot of leg drive drills. For me, once there was resistance involved, you were able to feel the difference between pushing and not pushing. You can just get these on like Amazon. And the big thing that you're looking for here is she has it a little bit higher than what I would normally do it. But what you want is that belt around the hips. That way, when you're feeling that push off, you're not accentuating this pull in the upper body, and you're actually pushing that leg drive, and they're feeling that resistance, and they're able to push off in a way that targets the right muscles. So just right up here, these are some of the cues that I like to use for actually leg drive. So launch position, like I've mentioned a billion times, and all my girls know all about launch position. Use your legs and stride out. So once again, if your girls are struggling on the mound and you want to convey something really quickly, you'll have these words that you have told them hundreds and thousands of times at practice, and they're going to know exactly what you mean. So the third one is leaning. So what this is going to look like is just bending at the waist in the K position. Typically, this is a lean forward. It's a lean forward either towards the toes or towards the glove side. Very rarely is it backwards towards the opposite glove hand or backwards. What this is going to do is reduce the power, accuracy, and just increase risk of injury. One way that you can really tell where a pitcher thinks that their strength is coming from is I tell my girls 100%, I want you to throw this ball as fast as you possibly can. I don't care where the ball goes. I don't care about anything that's going on in your pitch fundamentally. Throw that ball as hard as you can. And what you can really start to see is you can see where their mechanics start to break down. So by doing this is a lot of the girls that already have issues with leaning, they're going to overcompensate even more. They're going to fall apart on their front side, start shoving or pushing the ball instead of, once again, sitting in their legs, getting in that strong and solid base, and being able to push off the mound with their legs as opposed to shoving it with their bodies. Another reason for this is just a weak core or leg stability. This is a strength issue that can also be worked on. Or over rotation of the shoulders or hips, and obviously rushing through the motion or anxiety under pressure. We do have a few fixes for this. So a big one that I do like to use is a ponytail drill. I did say always ask permission here because a lot of my girls know that I do like to use this, and not to say that I use it, they'll know exactly what I mean when I say the ponytail drill. So all you do is during the pitch, you hold their ponytail. That way they can feel that resistance. And once again, it's going to be the same as the resistance, like the resistance band around the hips, but instead they have a little bit of fear that pulling their hair. So now they're overcompensating. Now they're leaning back, they're getting their weight into a proper position, and you can let go of their ponytail as long as they're a little bit scared and they're like they immediately brace their core and they stand up straight immediately. Um, yeah, so I think that's a really good one. If you don't really feel comfortable doing that, another good one is picture like you have a glass of water on your head. You don't want that to spill. You don't want it to fall off. You don't want it toppling over everywhere. What that's going to do, engage the core, prevent the girls from leaning forward or leaning forward towards their toes. For core strength, looking at a plank to pitch drill. So if you have the pitchers starting to plank or they're starting on their tummies right there, on the go signal, it's just going to be a pop up, push off into a launch position, and then immediately push off the mound. So right here, you can see our pop up, see that launch position right there. So this is the knee over toe explosion that we're looking for right here. From here, we don't want the girls to stand upright. We're keeping it low. We're keeping that forward position. And then immediately stride off, and that's where that power is actually being generated. So this is a really useful one. Before practices, I usually get the girls to we'll do walkthroughs, we'll do the plank to push, the plank to pitch, and then we'll also do lunges. So those are kind of my big three: conditioning, get the legs engaged, get the core engaged. Last is the knee resistance drill. So this one is very, very useful. I'll play it before I drink water. Perfect. So what this one is really focusing on is it forces the pitcher to not be able to move forward. So what you'll see right here is while this leg is out forward, this front leg right here is actually stopping it. So it can't physically let the body move into this position right here, where it's actually going, chest is leaning in front of the knee. So the body is stacked backwards, and you physically can't let the body fall forward, which is really going to help with the leaning issues that you may encounter. So once again, my three prompts: ponytail, head over hips, and stay tall. Those are the three that I use. Any of my girls that lean know exactly what they mean. And last but not least, we're looking at a weak front side. So this fun GIF right here is very valuable because you can actually see that stoppage point and there's no excess movement moving in front of that stoppage point. So girls that have a weak front side, what you are looking for is a soft bend, unstable stride leg at the landing. It's a forward upper body leaning or actually falling over the front leg. And it's going to be decreased velocity, poor spin. A lot of it is going to be inaccuracy, being able to go up and down versus left and right. Once again, causes poor stride mechanics. You're looking at either over or under striding, which is going to lead to a lot of instability. Leaning, unfortunately, is kind of goes hand in hand with this weak front side. And there is a fear or maybe a hesitation of going 100% and then stopping that pitch immediately. So another analogy that I like to use, this one's probably my favorite because it's also like a little physics lesson. But if you are driving in a car and you have a coffee in your hand and you're holding it out the window and you're driving along the highway and you're going 120 kilometers an hour, if your car slams into a brick wall, everything in the car is going to stop, right? However, if you're holding that cup of coffee out the window and you let go of that coffee is still going to be going 120 kilometers an hour. That coffee is going to continue going. It's going to continue moving until eventually air resistance gets it, but let's not touch on that. So it's going to keep on going as fast as it can for as long as it can. Your car is already stopped. So what we're looking for with these girls and their pitching is we want the car to be the pitcher's bodies and we want the coffee to be the ball. We want the girls to move as fast as we can because that speed is what the ball is going to be moving at. And then we want to stop the car and let the coffee go flying. So that is where that front side resistance is really, really, really important. So the first drill that I have for this is a single leg finish balance drill. Um, Basically all you'll see is a very, very strong front side where nothing is toppling over. Her front leg, there's no bend in it. There's nothing caving. I'm sure she's probably saying it better than I am because it's Amanda Scarborough. But right there with that front side resistance, nothing is falling over. Nothing's falling on top, and nothing's that brick wall is stopping the car from moving. So this is a very, very valuable drill just in that sense. The second one that I have here is a multiple rotation drill. So this one, what you're able to see is throughout the multiple windups, these girls are able to not fall, and they want to do it as fast as they can. Oh no. So within every pitch, there's nothing caving forward because that's going to waste time, and the girls don't want to waste time while doing this drill. So we're gonna have the athlete hold a weighted or a large ball and do as many rotations as you kind of tell them to do. And with that, every time they come to that finish pose, that front side resistance is gonna stop them just so they can fall back again. Fall back again, fall back again, fall back again. And what you can feel while doing that drill is your front leg start to stiffen, get stronger, and actually give you muscle resistance as opposed to it collapsing and you falling on your front side. This other one, you can see she has a resistance band that is attached from her glove around her thigh. And what that's going to do is if you have a soft glove hand coming down, everything else is also going to feel really soft. What you want is this glove to come in as fast as you can, as tight as you can. And what this is going to do is this is just going to stabilize the pitch even more. So you can see right here, and it's slamming right down. And that's closing the pitch as fast as we can. And it's also going to be a trigger on that front side to say, stay behind this. Our leg is now stopping, and it's stopping the pitch, and it's not allowing that car to go through a brick wall. We're not slamming into a pile of pillows, right? We're slamming into something that is hard, it's firm, and it's not allowing us to go any further. So 3 notes I'd like to say for this is nose behind toes, because we're not allowing our head to go over our front side. Slam on the brakes. We're stopping that car, right? We want that car to stop. And nice strong finish. So lastly, I just want to get into how to properly correct and some of the tools that I really find works with a lot of the girls that I work with. So self-assessment, I know at least here, a lot of the girls can go through multiple different coaches. They can go through different pitching coaches. They've talked to 10 different people that have a different opinion on their pitch every season. So at the beginning of every training session, I like to get their history, common problems that they've been trying to fix, any goals, any drills that they really resonated with. That way you can get the whole picture. So if they've constantly been told to fix something one way and then you go and tell them to fix it another way, they're going to get really, really confused. So that needs to be a really honest conversation that you have to be the one to ask the right questions and to get the full history. The next is just to focus on one thing at a time. You really don't want to overload them with too much at once. I think like a good analogy that I've been using over the last maybe year or so is, yes, you're teaching them how to improve their pitch, but you're also teaching them what good pitchers look like. You're teaching them so hopefully that they know enough about what sport they're mastering that they can go and start to teach that when they get older. So even with some of the girls that we have right now, if we have 3 or 4 pitchers that have been working together all season, I like to, if they are confident or I'm sure in their abilities, is now I want you to start looking at your other pitchers on your team. What do you think that they're doing wrong? What can we do to make their pitch better? And what's something that, with all these tools that I've given you, what's something that we can do to get better? Um, so also video review, very, very helpful in terms of being able to see yourself, being able to analyze it, make those changes. Teach them how to fish, don't just give them a fish, right? So this is also great for tracking progress. I like to do week 1 versus a week 20. That way the girls can really see the amount of progress that they've made because sometimes progress is very, very slow. And that's one thing that I do like to tell them that it's going to be a centimeter at a time to get a mile. It's a slow process, but it is worth it once those breakthroughs are actually made. So, like I've kind of talked about this whole time, is cues over criticisms. So before every pitch, there must be a mental cue on how to execute each pitch. So if we're looking at a changeup, we're looking at shortening the stride, locking the wrist, ball, grip, grip deeper in the palm, right? Being able to stop that wrist movement and take the velocity off the pitch. But those are just mental cues that when you get older, you know that those are the three. Those are the three that's going to make the changeup be as reliable, accurate, and as slow as possible. So we also look on reinforcing progress, not perfection. Another thing that I like to do is, especially for younger pitchers that maybe have a lack of confidence, if we are working on confidence, is let's compare today from 6 months from now. Let's be able to show you that progress, because if you could do this in 6 months, imagine what another 6 months will be. Imagine what kind of progress that we're going to be seeing 2 years from now. So let's focus on those milestones as opposed from going from Tuesday to Thursday, because we're not going to remember. And last but not least, I like to reflect and debrief after each practice. So this is another one where we're teaching them how to fish. If you can say a lot in the hour that you have with them, you can give them a lot of advice, you can give them a lot of analogies, you can do a lot of drills with them. But at the end, if you come together, regroup, get them to explain to you why we're doing these drills, what what drills were actually helping them, what were your keywords that were helping you when you were pitching. That way they can sit there, think about what hour just went by, come together with their recollection of everything that they have, and be able to move forward and actually use it for the next pitching session. So just some resources that I do like. These are kind of my big 3 that I do like to go back to. These should be links. So once this PowerPoint is actually dispersed, then please feel free to click on them and kind of see what else is out there. But as of right now, thank you so much for having me. It was a pleasure. And if you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.